I'm absolutely praying to the podcast gods that this works out. There's a first time for everything, and I'm really freaking hoping that this is gonna go okay. Oh my god, can you guys believe that this is actually becoming a thing? Like, I am so beyond excited for this. First of all, don't mind the headphones. They're giving 2016. They're giving $5 from the dollar store. And I promise I'm gonna eventually invest in some good quality new ones. But for those of you that are watching the YouTube video of this, these ones, not giving cute at all. When I first had the idea of starting this podcast, I looked into all different types of headphones, and there's some really, really cute looking ones that I want to get. But for now, the starting budget is rose gold 2016 vibes. So welcome everybody to the very first episode of the To Nurture Your Soul podcast. Like I said in one of my previous vlogs, and like I said in the Instagram post, this is something that I have been wanting to do for years. So I'm just so excited that I can finally sit down and do this. And I don't know, I really hope that you guys enjoy it, because I'm already having so much fun, like organizing this whole thing. I'm just so excited to have this extra platform and a way to connect with you guys on a level that is a little bit more personal and in-depth than just a regular vlog or a TikTok live or any of the other stuff that is, you know, typical for businesses or people on social media in general. So yeah, I cannot wait. I am so excited to sit down and dive into all things mental health. I'm excited for you guys to write into the email, which if you haven't done so already, or if you didn't know about the email, we do have an email for this podcast. It's just tonuretureyoursoulpodcast@gmail.com. And that email is where you can write in any advice questions that you may have or any topic suggestions. I honestly would really appreciate you guys writing into that email and letting me know literally anything. Write me any email and I'll be just so excited to open it and hear from you guys and read things on the podcast. I so far have gotten 0, so if any of you guys want to write in, that would mean the world to me, and it would make me so excited to read in the next podcast. But yeah, I don't know, this is a very, very different type of content for me. Normally I'm used to choppy vlogs where I can think about what I'm going to say and I can take breaks in between breaths and I can edit them out, but I'm going to try my best to make this podcast like as many long takes as I possibly can, which I've never ever done in any type of content creation before, so please bear with me. I'm going to be a little bit awkward to start with, and I'm sure I will stumble over a lot of my words, but I want to try my best to keep it as raw and authentic as I can with as little cuts as I can. So bear with me. It's gonna be a little bit to start with. So if you guys didn't see the Instagram post that I posted on the To Nurture Your Soul Instagram, then you're probably looking at this video pop up on my YouTube channel, or you've seen the link to the actual podcast on the To Nurture Your Soul Instagram or my personal Instagram, and you're just here to see what the fuck is going on. So for those of you that have absolutely no idea what this podcast is going to be about, or this is the first time that you've heard about it, you've seen about it, you've clicked on it, this is a podcast that I have started as an extension to my business, To Nurture Your Soul. My business, To Nurture Your Soul, is my absolute baby. It's my favorite thing in the whole entire world. It's the one place where I get to be open about my own personal mental health struggles, as well as find ways in which to help not only myself but other people as well. I love To Nurture Your Soul so much, and the community that we have grown over on the Instagram and the TikTok through, you know, doing that business in general. We're all just so incredibly like-minded, and I love that it's just a safe space for anyone, regardless of who you are, what you struggle with, where you're from. I feel like all the girls and boys and they thems that are connected to the To Nurture Your Soul accounts are just the best people in the whole entire world. And so I just wanted to create a podcast as an extension of that, to open up the community a little bit more, to create just another safe space for people to come and feel accepted and welcomed, and to listen to other people who struggle. And hopefully through listening to the podcast and through hearing my personal experiences, other people's experiences, and just from opening up the conversation about mental health a little bit more, it will invite people to feel comforted, like they have friends and like they are not alone. That's the whole purpose of this podcast, I guess, other than the fact that I just have always wanted to do this myself. I find genuine joy in sitting down and talking about random shit as well as important shit. Like, I just love talking. I could sit here and talk for hours, which I can and will do. So strap yourselves in. I hope you're excited. I'm going to move on to the next part of the podcast, which I think I'm going to do pretty regularly. I just want to have like a little life update section. So for those of you that are genuinely curious as to what's going on in my life, what's going on with the business, and I don't know, I just want to do like a little weekly recap, just so that when you guys write in and you tell me about your life, I'm also sitting here and I'm opening up about mine. And I don't know, I just want to have like a little, I don't know, lighthearted life update chit chat at the beginning of these, so that we're not just jumping straight into difficult conversations and hard topics. So I'm going to sit here. I'm going to update you guys on my life for a little bit, if that's okay. So currently, as I am recording this podcast, what is the date? Today is Tuesday the 21st. So as of today, there is exactly 2 weeks until Bump In for the Royal Easter Show, which is insane. So for those of you that don't know or haven't really been following To Nurture Your Soul in general, To Nurture Your Soul is going to the Royal Easter Show, bitches. And it's been a whole journey. It's been a massive journey, a stressful journey, and one that I am very excited to finally have come to fruition. 2 weeks from today, my mum will be driving her van into the Royal Easter Show showgrounds. We will be unpacking. We will be attempting to start to set up the whole stand that we have, and I will be getting myself situated in my hotel that I'm staying at in Sydney for 2 weeks. I don't think I've ever stayed anywhere in like a hotel for longer than 2 or 3 nights, so it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be interesting. I have to catch the train to and from the show every single day. It's like a half an hour, 45-minute journey, so it's going to be a time, but it's gonna be a time that I am so freaking excited about. Guys, this podcasting shit is a lot more complicated than you would think. I just sat down and told you guys a whole story for 2 minutes, and I didn't click record on my microphone. So love that for me. Pretty much I was just saying how I am the type of person where I can't sit down and concentrate on something if there's external noise. And my fridge in the background of this audio, listening through these headphones, I could not. My fridge is so old, and it's not a cute type of old, you know? It's a hand-me-down from my mum, 15 years plus old, where it makes noises when it's cooling down the things in your fridge. And I just couldn't handle the noise of it picking up with this intense microphone. So like the strong, independent woman I am, I went in my kitchen, I pulled my fridge all the way out, and I just flicked it off the wall. I said, you know what? Fuck all the food in my fridge. Fuck the chicken in there that I'm supposed to be making tacos for dinner tonight with. I have a podcast to record, and that is my number one priority right now. So you guys are so welcome. So welcome. It's all gonna be fine. We're all gonna be so fine. So what was I talking about? staying in Sydney for 2 weeks, I think, is where I was up to. So I will be staying in the city for 2 weeks. It's going to be such an experience, one that I am so incredibly excited for, but one that also scares the absolute shit out of me. It's a very overwhelming thought, and I feel like I haven't actually sat down and fully process the fact that I'm going to be doing this whole entire thing on my own in a city that I don't live in, staying in a hotel that I've never been to before. Like, it's a massive experience, but there is just something inside of me that is telling me that everything is going to be okay. And that is a lot coming from a girly that is full of anxiety normally. Well, I feel like my anxiety has gotten so much better over the past 12 months, where I have actually put the effort into working on myself and my anxiety and everything that falls in between that. And if I got this opportunity like a year, 2 years ago, I don't think I would have accepted it. I would have been like, there's absolutely no way that I will be able to do that all on my own. But I'm sitting here right now and I am nowhere near as stressed as I feel as I should be. Like, it's kind of concerning. Every single person that I talk to about it is like, oh my God, that's such a big thing. Like, are you nervous? How do you feel? And I'm like, I honestly couldn't be more excited about it. I am so excited about it. And I'm not anxious or nervous at all, because at the end of the day, I know that this is a massive thing that I'm about to embark on. I know that it's going to teach me a lot. And at the end of the day, if things don't go to plan, or if I don't make as much money as I hope to, at the end of all of it, it is going to be such a great experience for my own personal development, and I just feel like I'm going to grow so much from this experience. Let alone, like, I feel like I'm going to make so many new friends. I've already connected with so many beautiful girls that also have small businesses that are going to the show, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to go on an adventure, to meet new people, and to continue to grow as an individual, because I know that that's what is going to come from this experience at the bare minimum. And to me, personal growth is something that has been so incredibly important to me over the past 12 months. Even if at the end of all of this, it all goes to shit, which fingers crossed it doesn't. Please pray for me that it doesn't, because that's the stressful part. The thought of it not all going well, that's a little bit stressful. But at the end of the day, I know that this is going to build character. It's going to help me learn so many new things about myself, my business, other people, and meeting different people as well. And yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, that is how I feel about the show currently, which kind of leads me into a perfect segue for the topic that I wanted to talk about today. Because I didn't get any emails through to the podcast email, I kind of just had to make shit up on my own for this one, and I'm not too great with coming up with topics, so just bear with me for this first episode. I'm just going with the flow. I'm trying to make this one work on my own, you guys. So like I said, that perfectly segues into the topic that I wanted to talk about in today's first podcast, which is trusting the universe and listening to your gut. Now, this is a very broad topic, I feel, but I wanted just something general and lighthearted to start us off with this first episode. And I did want to update you guys on the show stuff as well. So I don't know, just leading on from that, I guess. So one thing that I have learnt to do over the past 12 months maybe, but in particular the past 6 months that I have been working on all of the stuff for the show, is to just trust your gut and the universe. I feel like the trust your gut thing is something that, I don't know, I always throughout my whole life have had strong gut intuitions about things, but I feel like it's only been over the past 12 months where I have put the effort in to listening to myself, to working on myself, and actually picking up on the signs of my body trying to tell me, different things about the life around me that I'm living. And I've been trusting that everything happens for a reason. I'm trusting, the reactions that my body has to things. I don't know if this is making sense. Is this making sense? I don't know. That is what I have been doing throughout the entire prep process for the show. In my everyday life, I have people in my family, my friend circle, just like people in general, whenever I talk about the show, people always say to me, like I said before, that's such a massive thing. I can't believe you're doing that. Like, how do you have the confidence and the courage to do that? And my answer at the end of the day to all those people and to all those questions is that I am just trusting my gut feelings, my intuition, and the universe. And I know that this isn't going to be a subject or a topic for everyone. I know lots of people don't trust in that, believe in that, or even feel that within themselves. But for me personally, I am such a massive believer in trusting your gut feelings and believing that the universe has already made a set plan for you in life, and all you have to do is continue to show up in this world as the best version of yourself as you possibly can, and your life will unfold in the way that it was always meant to be. And I don't know if I just fully believe this, because I have had things happen in my life that has proven this to be true. And again, this is not going to be an episode for everyone. This is not going to be a topic for everyone. But for example, for as long as I can remember, from as young as I can remember, from as little of a child as I can remember, I have always wanted to work in social media. When I was younger, I thought that looked completely different to what I'm doing right now. I thought that looked like me being my own personal brand. I thought that it looked like me, having my YouTube channel, making my YouTube videos, working with other brands on content. And as my life has unfolded, those key elements of what I always had that gut feeling and intuition as to what I wanted to do when I grew up, when I was older, they all came to fruition, but just not in the way that my young, naive brain thought. So once again, from the earliest memory that I have always wanted to work for myself. I wanted to work in social media. But now that I am older and I have allowed the process to unfold in the way that it was meant to, I now see that gut feeling was right. But as you guys can see, and as a lot of you know, the way that has unfolded for me in my life is completely different. I own my own business, which is something that I never, ever thought that I would do. I never thought that I would have my own brand. I thought that I would be working for other brands. But in having my own brand, I'm doing the same stuff that I would have been doing if I was a solo content creator with my personality as my brand. But instead of working for a ton of different other brands, like beauty brands, fashion brands, all of that stuff, I'm working on my own brand, which I think, now that I've lived the life, feels so much more fulfilling than what it would have been if it worked out the way that I wanted it to when I was like 15, 16, when I wanted to just be a YouTuber. I don't know if that's a good example. Hopefully that kind of makes sense and sheds light onto what I kind of mean by trusting your gut feeling, but allowing the universe to just carry you through life and just trust that it will get you to where you internally feel you're meant to be, even though if it's not the traditional path that you've planned out in your head. And it's totally okay to have a set plan and a path in your head in the way in which you wanted to go. Like, I was so determined. I'm going to be a YouTuber. YouTube is going to be my main job. And I stuck to that for years and years and years. And if I didn't stick to doing that, I don't think I would have the experience or knowledge that I do in video editing, content creation, storytelling, and all of those things help me today with what I have chosen to do with my life now, which is run my business, do this podcast, and do all of the things that fall under the umbrella of running your own business in 2023 on social media. When I think about it full circle and bringing it back to the Royal Easter show, when people ask me, are you scared? Are you worried? It's such a massive thing. Do you know what you're doing? You're doing it alone. I can't believe that. I sit here and I say, you know what? I truly have that same gut feeling as when I was 15, 16, and I knew that I wanted to work for myself when I got older. I didn't give any other option. I was like, sorry, but I know that that's what I'm going to do eventually, no matter how that works out or plays out for me in life. And it's the same thing about this show. I have a true gut feeling that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm not worried about it because I trust in the universe and I know that what's meant to be will be. And if the show doesn't turn out exactly how I have it envisioned in my head, like that 15, 16-year-old Lacey had in her head about YouTube, then it will allow me to transition, or it will take me to the place where I'm truly meant to be. The place that is guiding me through that gut instinct. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Hopefully this is all making sense and I'm not just rambling. But yeah, that is kind of what I wanted to talk about in today's podcast. I wanted to make this one a very general one, more of a shorter one, and just kind of like an intro and a little taste, a little sprinkle of what is to come in future episodes of this podcast. So yeah, hopefully you were able to take something away from this podcast today. If anything, I think the main message from this one is to trust your gut feelings, because most of the time they are right. If you have extreme anxiety around a particular person or place or thing, if you start to feel sick or tired, or that's the opposite end of it all, if you start to feel negative emotions in situations or around people or at places, then that is your gut and your body telling you, abort mission. This is not what you need to get to where you are eventually supposed to be. I don't know, that's something that I have learnt a lot over the past 6 to 12 months, and I figured that I would just sit down and chat about it in today's podcast because it is a question that I get a lot. Almost every single day I get this question on To Nurture Your Soul's TikTok live that I do. It's, are you anxious? Are you worried? I can't believe you're doing the show. I can't blah, 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 blah. And this is kind of just a sum up answer to all of those questions. And hopefully you can take something away from this podcast and apply it to some sort of aspect in your life. I truly think that we are put on this earth with a purpose, and we know deep down what our soul purpose is. If you are in tune with your body, if you are in tune with the universe, then you will know what you are supposed to do in this life, whether that is a job or whether it's to have a family, whether that's to live a certain lifestyle. Like, I truly believe that everyone has a soul purpose, and it just takes a little bit of digging and looking inwards at yourself to truly be able to realize what it is, and then make decisions to work towards that and show up for yourself to be able to achieve that and to get to where you're supposed to be. I think that's going to be it for today's podcast, you guys. My camera battery is flashing at me, so I'm going to wrap this one up here. Again, please don't forget to leave me a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. Give this video a thumbs up. If you're listening on any podcast streaming service, I can't believe that I'm posting something on like Spotify, Apple. What? I don't know the process of, you know, how you give a thumbs up on stuff like that, but whatever it is you do you leave a 5-star review? I think that's what you do on those types of platforms, right? Please do all of the positive things that you can to let me know that you enjoyed this podcast. Once again, please don't forget to write in any advice questions, any subjects or topics that you would like me to talk about in next week's episode to tonuretureyoursoulpodcast@gmail.com. All of your emails to that email address truly help me out so much, and I appreciate them so freaking much. And yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave you guys today. I cannot believe this is the first episode done, ticked, and I have honestly had the best time ever. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate all of your love and support on this podcast so far. I cannot wait to see where it takes us in the future. I love you all very much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Mwah. Bye.